Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last lesson, we have add our navigation bar component into the admin portal project part. And in this lesson, we'll continue to work on this navigation bar part. Specifically, we're going to put in some HTML code so that you can see a basic layout of a navigation bar. And then from there, we'll try to add the login functionalities. And this, of course, will involve both the front end and the back end work. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a navigation bar. Things like just a bar thing, like a toolbar or something. And this should be available in the Angular 2 material website. Let's see if we can find the components for that. Components, and we're gonna do a toolbar, which looks like this. Okay, so basically the Angular 2 material framework lists all kinds of components here. Okay, and each one will have something like overview, API reference, and examples. Some of them still in development, and some of them have some content. Like here, basically, it describes what this tool is and how do you use this component. Okay, and if you click on this button, it will show the source code for that. And as you can see, it's such a simple a MD tag, MD, which is for material design, toolbar, and it has the My App in it. And besides that, we have other TS documents and CSS. A lot of times doesn't have anything, it's just HTML that you can directly use. And also here we will see different examples and explanations. And besides that, we have the API reference that we can directly use. So here we have properties that we can tweak with. Now we can see some examples as well as the source code. Okay. So let's come back to our admin portal, open our text editor. When I go to our navigation bar component HTML, replace that, we say toolbar, and we're gonna use the primary color. Okay. And this should have something displayed. Okay, so we have the purple color displayed, and if you want to change it, say we have an accent, it's gonna look a little different, like that. And we're gonna have a warning, looks like this. So whatever color you will like, or even you can change your thinning as well. I'll just say primary for now. All right. And let's come to our app and get rid of this button and get rid of this H1 tag. Things should get changed. All right. And then let's put something. Come back to this navigation bar. We're gonna put a title here, and we're gonna say admin portal. It's gonna show up here. Let's make it a little white. So we're gonna use the Angular property, and this would be white. Okay, a little wider. And then we're gonna add some buttons. Okay, so this button would be a actual link, and this would be empty button. So this empty button comes from, as you can guess, Angular Material Framework. Okay. So if you go to the button component, right here. You can see different buttons. Okay, you have the flat button, raised button, and this all comes with button tag. Also, you can have link as link. So each one will have empty button, empty raised button, empty fab, empty mini. So that's for the rounded button as well. Okay, you can just play around as you like. So let's have two more buttons. One is add a book. Another one is log out. So we have those displayed, and I would like to put it towards right side a little bit. So let's add a span in between. And we can mark it with a class name. I'll just say example spacer. And of course, we're going to define that, right? So we're going to define something like this. The example dash space class will have the flex 11 auto. So if you're interested in this property, you can search up. And basically, if you come back to our admin portal, things will be looking like this. Okay. So that looks good so far. But as you can see, those links like view, book list, add a book, or logout should be something that after you log in, right? So I wouldn't want to display that before we actually log in. And then in this case, we can do something here. So first of all, let's go to our nav dash bar component. And well, I assume you have some basic ideas of Angular 2. If you haven't done any Angular 2 tutorial, I would suggest you go take one. At least you should have some basic understanding. Otherwise, it's kind of difficult to understand what I'm talking about. I mean, if it is not impossible, okay? It's just you're gonna take more effort after each class that I explain to you, and then you need to dig it up and try to understand why we are doing that. You cannot just say, I understand just part of it, and you keep on going, and eventually you will get lost and your time will be wasted, okay? You don't want to see that happen. You want to make sure that you understand at least the basics of Angular 2, like how does this HTML template relate to each of the component here, okay? So basically, we can add stuff, within this class as content. We can define some, variables like private login, and we can initialize it as false. You don't have to do this because by default, the value will be false. It's just put it here. It's just for clearance, okay? And then we can come back to our navigation bar component HTML, and we're gonna put span around it, and we're gonna add a hidden property equals to login. Okay, so we have a login value variable, and by default it's a false, right? And if its login is false, this bound sign basically reverses the logic. So that is true. And that's true for what? For hidden, which means we're gonna hide the span tag and whatever content wrapped around. So in this case, by default, this button will be hidden. Okay, so let's just do it for the other two as well. Okay, save. As you can see, they're all gone. Okay, and let's do something interesting. we have a button, say. And we're gonna say it's as toggle. When we click on this button, we're gonna invoke a function, say toggle display. Okay, and we're gonna define this method in our component body. So whenever this function is displayed, login value will be inversed. So basically the logic will be inversed every time. So you can see there's click with parentheses wrapped around it, and this is basically an attribute that is added by Angular 2. So that is to say, whenever you click on this element, the toggle display method will be displayed, and this toggle display is defined. It should be defined in this class. Okay, so if we come back, you can see we have the toggle button. If we click on that, things come up. Click again, it's gone. So as you can see, all those values has been, binded dynamically at the template level. Okay, whenever there's a value changed in any of this, the corresponding template will be re-rendered. Okay, and as you can see, it's pretty fast. So this is the improvement from Angular 2, after Angular 1. So it has something like to detect only the changes, all right? And since we have a flag like this to control the display of these buttons, we can make this flag as logical true after we have logged in, right? So that's something we're gonna start to work on in next lesson. And that's pretty much for this one. We'll continue in the next lesson. See you, bye.